Hey everyone, Coach Will here, and I'm going to be talking about 3 new habits to help you with your new year. So, if you're like everyone else and they wait till the end of the year, or the start of the new year to have a reset, let's say, or to refresh goals and things that they would like to accomplish, it's always a great time of the year to get started on that. Now, one of the things that I know from years of experience of being in the wellness and fitness industry is that it's common practice to see a lot of people jump on the bandwagon of, hey, this next year is going to be my year because I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to go to the gym more, and I'm going to be very strict and very disciplined with everything in my life because I need to get my shit together. With people who have good intentions and this is what their hopes are to accomplish, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I don't think anybody should feel discouraged. However, I do think that there are more appropriate ways of going about this in a way that will help you be successful, but also ensure that you're going to get the results this year by doing the things that will actually help. And so today I'm going to talk about 3 habits that you can practice for the new year. The first habit is going to be very obvious, which is hire a coach. I cannot stress this part enough just because I've seen it happen time and time again where people have said, well, I'm going to do this on my own. Or it's okay, I know enough from past experience that I know what I'm doing. And so I'm going to just do it on my own. And again, it's cool to be like, yeah, I did it on my own. But in reality, when we're looking at being successful, most everybody who has been successful is because they hired a coach. And that coach is somebody to help you get from A to B, hence the term coach. And so when we think about this habit of hiring a coach, is it an investment? Duh. But aren't you worth it? I think that people should value themselves more and not feel guilty for investing in themselves because it's important to take care of your health, not only for now, but also for long-term benefit. Because when we think about what our future looks like, we want to keep doing the things we want to do. And the best way to do that is by taking care of ourselves. And if we, have a busy life, own a business, are professional working, or we're parents, whatever it may be that's preventing you from being as active as you want to be. The common issue is that there's too much stuff on your plate already for you to think about. Going to the gym, thinking about what you need to do, and all the other troubles that come with it can be resolved if you hire a coach. So do yourself a favor and invest in yourself so that you can get yourself someone who will help you get to where you want to go. Number 2, be more subtle. Now, what I mean when I say be more subtle, it means don't be extreme with your behaviors. Again, a lot of people do this, and I cannot stress this enough, is that when you have a high level of intensity with a behavior change or with even the workout itself, what you're doing is trying to compensate with intensity for a lack of doing, let's say, a lack of consistency in the past, or whatever it may be. Either way, what I'm trying to get at is that people will go into extreme behaviors of saying, hey, I'm drinking 7 sodas a day to no soda at all, and they last a good 6 to 8 weeks, and then something happens and they're right back to where they started. Or they're not working out at all and they end up starting from 0 days to 5 days a week for an hour plus, and then your body gets sore, you get tired, you might get injured. The list goes on and on and on of what could happen. But either way, when you look back at what you've done in the past, I guarantee you were probably extreme in one way or the other, and you didn't see the results happen fast enough, and you got upset and you decided to quit, or you burnt yourself out. So rather than doing what you've always done, do something different and be more subtle with the changes. So going back to that example of drinking 7 sodas a day, rather than completely quitting, how about we just go down to 6 for a couple weeks? And then as that gets easier, we go down to 5. And eventually you find a point where you can either maintenance the soda that you're drinking, or you just switch it out for something else. There's no right or wrong way. It's just a matter of finding out what's going to work for you and also your lifestyle of what you want out of that habit. But you can't be successful if you're being too intense all the way, because it just doesn't work. So switching over to more of a subtle approach, it is a longer process. However, it's going to last because you're taking the time to make the changes rather than trying to rush it happening right away. The last one's going to be avoid old habits. Now, this one is somewhat similar to be more subtle with the changes, but when I say avoid old habits, what I mean is don't do what you've always done. If you've done what you've always done every year at the beginning of the year, you're going to find yourself in the same place as you have before. And so old habits, they're familiar, they're safe, they're comfortable, they're things that we're good at doing, because learning something new is challenging and requires effort, because everyone has this idea that, well, we're good at this one thing, so if I'm going to try something new, I'm going to be great at it right away, and if I'm not, guess what? I'm just going to quit and abandon it, which I can relate to, and so can a lot of other people. And so that type of mindset will prevent you from being successful, because you're not going to take into account that things are going to suck, they're going to be challenging, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But if we can embrace that discomfort and expect that to be part of the process, by not going into old familiar habits, what will happen is we'll create changes. And those changes are going to help us because we're going to start seeing new results. Are they going to happen right away? No. But they will start having a bigger impact as long as we continue with it consistently and think about the long-term effect of what we're doing versus an immediate result, because an immediate result doesn't happen, and if it does, it's going to be very short and quick. And so when we think about doing something new with our new year, rather than going back into old habits that you're going to try to do this upcoming year, think about things that you want to do differently with similar habits. So for example, you want to start going to the gym and start working on your health and your wellness, and you've always done it where you do 5 days a week to start out with because that's what you've always done, and then you get sore and you get burnt out, you're repeating what you're doing up here. What you can do is start with maybe 2 or 3 days a week, and rather than going for an hour, go for a half hour. And again, we can avoid a lot of these issues by hiring a coach. Remember that. And so when you think about other things to practice this new year, avoid old habits, practice new habits so that you can get different results and see what works for you. All right, if you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or with anybody you think will find this helpful as well. I wish you the best of luck for this new year, and I'm excited to share more information and more content to help you out with your health and wellness.